ටිකක් පෙන්වන්න යනවා, right? Tell me what brand values do you associate with those logos, right? What is the first thing that comes to your head when you see this logo? මේ logo එක දැක්කම ඉස්සලා මුලට එන්නේ මොකද්ද? Hmm? What is the first thing that comes to your head when you see that logo? Mutual connections, yes. Gossip, very good. Gossip. Opa dupa නේද? Right. Memes, yeah. මේක මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ? මේක දැක්කා මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ ඔළුවට? When you see that, what is the first thing that comes to your head? When you see the second logo, stories, yes. Instagram stories, content, yeah. For me, do you know what the first thing that comes to my head is? Girls that look like this. Cut tool karagina, right? I know, not a stereotype, but that's the first thing that came to my head, right? More than chat, models, yes. Pretentious, yeah. Good, good. What comes to your head when you see this logo? What comes to your head? Posh, okay. Twitter is posh, right? Hmm. Interesting. News, yeah. For me, I look at news. I look if I want to look at news, I look at Twitter. Live updates, yes. Well done. Haven't reached. Hmm. Interesting. What comes to your head when you see that logo? That fourth logo. What comes to your head when you see that logo? Mad? Nonsense? Trendy? Wow. See, look at the total contrasting definitions that you guys are giving. Huh? After 2000, mad generation. Okay, I'm assuming you're someone from my generation, Asanga. Useless. Okay, but you know, there are a lot of people who are making a lot of money on TikTok, right? Content creator. Right. So, what is the first thing that comes to your head when you see the last logo at the bottom? LinkedIn. Brand. Professional. Somebody says boring. Hmm. Entrepreneur. Professional. Right. So, different social media have different brand values which you guys are typing right now. Job market, someone says, very good, right? What is different on LinkedIn versus other social media? What is different, right? Number one, not as fun. It's a fun name, LinkedIn can. Somebody type boring, right? It's a fun name, right? Then definitely not as toxic and less drama, right? If you take Facebook, sometimes it can be very toxic, close to elections, right? It can be really toxic. People lose their best friends over what they post on Facebook, right? Lot of drama, right? සමහර අයගේ drama වලි තියෙනවා කියන්නේ ගෝරිද වලිද ඔක්කොම ඔක ඇතුලේ තියෙනවා, right? LinkedIn එකේ 198ක් 99ක් නැහැ, unless there is some wise guy who goes and does comments on something. LinkedIn almost 100% clean. Drama නෑ. හැබැයි සමහර විතර fun උත් නැහැ කියලා, right? Lots of learning opportunities, right? LinkedIn learning තියෙනවා ඕන තරම් ඉගෙන ගන්න, right? Fantastic. There's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of money to be made on LinkedIn if you are patient, my friends. I am telling you with experience, right? When the pandemic hit, right? I'm a quiz master. I do a full-time job as well, right? So I'm a quiz master. I used to run about 4 big quizzes every year, right? 4 big quizzes every year. When the pandemic happened, සංචරණ සීමා මොකද කියන්නේ පොලිස් සැඳිර නීතිය යන්න බෑ එළියට, what to do, right? uh, I am someone who does that as well in addition to my job. So it brought me a lot of revenue as a normal quizmaster, right? uh, when the pandemic happened, I was, in a conundrum. I thought, Mambelo, මොකද්ද මම කරන්න දැන් මේ නැති වෙච්ච ආදායම පොඩ්ඩක් අය ලබා ගන්න ඕනේ. So I decided to do online quizzing. And how did I promote that online quizzing? Through social media, through Facebook and LinkedIn. Through LinkedIn, I tell you, a lot of people took part in my quizzes after they saw my Facebook post, right? You know what I did? A Facebook එකේ දාපු එක මම LinkedIn එකෙත් post කරා. You know what happened? While I ran individual quizzes called Let's Get Quizzical, a lot of companies saw this as a good opportunity for them to engage their employees. ගෙදර ඉඳලා වැඩ කරන employees ලාව engage කරන්න මොන හරි activity එකක් තියන්න එපේ. So they found out there is a person in Sri Lanka called Shehan Kumar who does online quizzes. And then what did I do? මම කරපු quizzes record කරලා YouTube එකේ දාලා YouTube එකේ link එක LinkedIn එකේ දාන්න. You know what happened, right? I was able to do so many international quizzes, නිකන් නෙමෙයි සල්ලි වලට, because of LinkedIn. I did quizzes for Kuwait, for the Middle East. I did quizzes for people in the UK, the USA, in Korea, and believe it or not, I did quizzes for people in Botswana, in Africa as well, right? There is a lot of money to be made if you play your cards straight, right? A lot of money. You know what happened today? I shared what Sadeepa had created for this session on LinkedIn, saying, I'm super excited to conduct this session to around 200 plus students of the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, right? Already, I have got about 2 requests from companies to do this session for their companies, right? Right? So, my friends, if you play your cards straight, right, there's a lot of opportunity for you to capitalize on through LinkedIn, right? What else is different on LinkedIn? It's free. Hello, it's free, right? Unless you have a lot of money and you want to pay for your LinkedIn page, your LinkedIn profile is free, right? Now, we grew up in a generation where we would sit around the TV. Now, I was born on the same day ITN was brought down to ITN started in Sri Lanka, right? Same day ලංකාවේ පළවෙනි TV channel එක පටන් ගත්ත දවස් තමයි මම ඉපදුනේ, right? So I grew up in front of the TV. I still am addicted a lot to the TV, right? So when I looked at the TV growing up, right? පොඩි කාලේ ඉඳලා TV එක බලනකොට අපි දකින්නේ මොනවද? එක එක ජාතියේ companies එක එක advertisement දානවා, right? Uh, but do you know, to build a brand name like that through other media channels is very expensive. right? අපේ භාෂාවෙන් කියනවා පට්ට ගණන්, right? TV එක ඇඩ් එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන් අපිට සාමාන්‍ය මිනිස්සෙක්ට දාන්න පුළුවන්. පත්තරේ ඇඩ් එකක් දාන්න බලන්න full page ඇඩ් එක ගාන බලන්න පොඩ්ඩක් call කරලා. It's really expensive. But hello, LinkedIn is giving you that opportunity to build your brand for free, right? For free. Then Facebook gives you 5,000 connections, right? But LinkedIn gives you a whopping 30,000 connection opportunities. You have opportunities to connect with more than 30,000 people, right? Fantastic, right? ඔයගේ chance එකක් කවුද දෙන්නේ? 30,000ක් add කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් මම තාම 6,800යිද ගෝද මගේ connections තියෙන්නේ, but I am already capitalizing on that limited number, right? I am 20% of what I can achieve through LinkedIn right now, right? 30,000 connections. And you know what? Another thing is that is different. Unlike in Facebook, right? Most of the time you can't see. Now, if you on Facebook, most of the time, if you like or give a heart to someone or a girl, someone else can see, right? But on LinkedIn, if you like someone's post, all your friends, all the people on your network can see that. හැමෝටම පේනවා මෙයා මේක like කරා කියලා. දැන් මම උදේ මගේ LinkedIn feed එකට ගියාම මම දකිනවා මේ අහවල් පුද්ගලයා මෙයාගේ එක like කරලා තියෙනවා. මම ගිහලා බලනවා මොකද්ද මෙයා බලලා තියෙන්නේ. ෂා. එහෙම post එකක්. There's something for me to learn. Maybe a program, maybe a training program for me to register for, right? Whatever the other person reacts to, you can also see. ගොඩක් අය ඕක දන්නේ නැහැ. හරිද? සමහර වෙලාවට මම දැකලා තියෙනවා some people post vacancies. I have an offer for marketing opportunity in Dubai, and some people I work with සමහර අය මම වැඩ කරන අය දානවා yes I'm interested කියලා. ඒගොල්ලෝ හිතන්නේ අපිට පේන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. but අපිට පේනම සමහර අයට මම කියලා තියෙනවා hey I can see your post, you know, if I can see your post, your boss can also see your post, right? But that is a fantastic advantage which LinkedIn offers. 30,000 connections, right? And best of all, your posts are Googleable, right? Googleable, if you can call that, right? LinkedIn එකේ දාන posts Google එකෙත් පේනවා, right? LinkedIn is owned by the Microsoft company. I think 850 million people on LinkedIn right now. Whatever you post is Googleable. Can I show you an example? I'll show you an example. Look at this, right? When you type Quizmaster in Sri Lanka, right? You get one of the quizzes that I did on YouTube. Then look at the third search result that you see on LinkedIn. It's an article that I shared 5 years ago. Mama අවුරුදු 5කට කලින් share කරපු article එක. Shehan Kumar, Sri Lanka's happiest quizmaster. Right? මම අවුරුදු 5කට කලින් share කරපු එක. It appears on Google. Right? So remember, it's Googleable. Right? Fantastic. Then let's look at some figures, right? LinkedIn users in Sri Lanka up to July 2022, according to Napoleon Cat, we have 1.6 million LinkedIn users on average, right? Globally, 850 million, right? You have an opportunity to reach out to 850 million people in the world if you play your cards right. In Sri Lanka, there's 1.6 million. I think now it's probably closer to 2 million, right? So that's about 10% of the population. And LinkedIn right? Probably the elite people in business, right? People you want to do business with, people you want to work with, people you want to be associated with or to build your brand with, right? So can you afford to lose those 10%, right? For job seekers, LinkedIn offers an online version of your resume, right? It's basically an online resume. With LinkedIn, you have the option to even send the URL of your LinkedIn page to potential employees in place of a physical resume. Do you know that there's an option like this on LinkedIn? Right? When you go to your profile, you click on that button called More, right? You have the opportunity to save it as to a PDF. You can also build your resume, right? A lot of people don't know this characteristic of LinkedIn. Fantastic, right? You can have your resume built if you are looking for a job opportunity. You can send it out, right? You can send it out. And can I tell you something else? Now, say for example, you apply to a job uh, a month ago, right? So usually in Sri Lanka, job opportunities you apply, it takes a bit of time, right? Say you applied 2 or 3 weeks ago to a job, right? And then the job post closes, right? And then you send your CV via email, and then your name is shortlisted. ඔයාගේ CV එක දැකලා ඔයාව shortlist කරනවා. එතකොට ඔයාගේ CV එකේ තියෙනවා ඔයාගේ LinkedIn profile එක. Now you look at that organization, and that organization can be an inclusive company. Now the company that I work for right now is an inclusive company. We work a lot with people with disabilities. We promote gender equality, right? So while your CV was sent 2 weeks ago, right, you can have the opportunity to update your LinkedIn with something that you did after that, right? So maybe you send your CV. The CV කියනවා සති දෙකකට විතර කලින්. ඊයේ වා කරනවා project එක. මොකද්ද කරන project එක? You talk about gender equality. ඔයා කතා කරනවා මේ office එකේ කාන්තාවන්ට කරන හිංසනය ගැන, or at your company is now a gender equal company, you are an inclusive company, or you have gone to some children's home and you work with children. So when a prospective employer හරි ඔයාගේ CV එක දකින employer කෙනෙක් යනවා ඔයාගේ LinkedIn profile එකට. ගියාම ආ මෙන්න මෙයා ඊයේ මෙහෙම project එකක් කරලානේ. This is the sort of person we want working in our company, and you have a good chance of landing that job. I do that, right? Whenever I send my CV to a company, I make sure I add all the heads of that company, head of HR, onto my LinkedIn, because I want them to see what I'm doing uh, in the society, right? Then, for job seekers, it will help you to apply to job opportunities globally. Unfortunately, around 30 Sri Lankans are migrating every day from Sri Lanka, right? So I think that number was about 3 months ago. Now it's probably is even more, right? LinkedIn will help you to apply for job opportunities globally. And remember, these opportunities, you don't physically have to go. There are some opportunities you can work remotely. I know one friend of mine who worked in the IT industry for about 20 years, quit his job. He's now working remotely for a Canadian company, right? Through a job opportunity he got through LinkedIn, right? There's no need to prepare extra documents or to change your resume. When you apply to any job, your LinkedIn information is sometimes enough. You know why? Because even if you do not apply for the job, your job will come to you, right? If you have a good, updated, active LinkedIn profile, jobs will come to you, right? I get almost daily, I get opportunities. People trying to headhunt me, right? Minisu, මට මේක දැන් අදත් ඇත්තටම කියනවා අද හවසත් I promise you අද හවසත් මට එවලා තියෙනවා there's a company looking for someone that matches your profile, would you like to apply, right? Remember, even if you do not apply to your job, then a job picker, even if you do not apply, that HR department, those headhunters can view your LinkedIn profile, right? They can contact you on the platform if they think you are a good fit for the opening, right? So jobs could come to you. Then some tips for branding on LinkedIn, right? The number one rule I want to tell you, update your profile photo. Ideally, you want to employ a professional photographer to take the picture, right? But if budgets are tight, choose a picture that is sharp, high resolution, flattering, and clear, not a cropped image of your head. I will come to that on the next slide, right? Join groups, right? LinkedIn එකේ තියෙනවා ගොඩාක් groups right now. I'm in a group called the CMOs group, Chief Marketing Officers group. So I can see what is happening in Australia. What are the marketing? You know, I'm a marketing professional, right? What are the marketing professionals doing in Australia? What are the marketing professionals doing in countries like Belgium, in South America, right? I'm in those groups and I get alerts whenever there's something happening, right? So that keeps you updated. So when I go into a board meeting or when I go and present to my boss, I can always use examples. Hey, this is happening right now in this country. Why can't we do it in our country, right? So join those groups. And, you know, if you can contribute, right, and build a good brand name, that's fantastic, right? Let's take a look at this profile photo thing, right? Now, some people, now these are examples I took from LinkedIn itself, right? Now, some people look at this, right? They think this is cool, right, to have on LinkedIn. Do you think this is cool to have on LinkedIn? Right? He has a nice heading as well: experienced accountant, consultant, and controller. Right? Would you want if it's an accountant, right? You usually associate accountants with being, you know, very rigid and very transparent, very honest, right? When you have a picture like this, right? Does it resonate well with you? What do people think about your brand name? Hmm? What about this? Please do not have selfies for your LinkedIn picture. මම සමහර ඒවා දැකලා තියෙනවා බීච් එකේ ඉන්නවා සන්ග්ලාස් දාගෙන අර ස්ටයිල් එකට පැත්ත බලන් ඉන්න ෆොටෝස් තියෙන්නේ. ඒව දානවා LinkedIn එකේ. Please avoid using those. Try to have a professional picture. If you can't find a professional picture, jacket එකක් ඇඳන් ඉන්න ෆොටෝ එකක් ගන්න වෙඩින් එකකට හරි ඇඳ එක කපලා ගන්න crop කරලා ලස්සන picture එකක් දාන්න, right? Your profile picture should resonate your job, your title, and what you do. Look at this. Here's Johnny, babysitter with great traits. Would you like to hire a babysitter like this? Right? The last thing would you do, you want to run away from someone who looks like this, right? මේ වගේ babysitter කෙනෙක්ව කවුරුත් ගනීද? නෑනේ. Then this one, right? Although it might look cool, right? If you're a professional, if you're say if you're a marketing guy, you're an accountant, you're a business analysis, having a picture like this, okay, you might be a passionate musician, but having a picture like this for your profile picture is not going to work, right? Then this, right? Revealing pictures, right? You're trying to, yeah, you might get business, but for all the wrong reasons, my friends. So you need to be very careful with what you post, right? Look at this picture at the bottom, right? She's doing something. I can't see it very clearly, right? Pictures like this does not go well, right? If I go to now, there are, I think, quite a few people who have connected. There are, I think, more than 200 registered for this, 228 this morning, probably even more now. uh, if I go to your LinkedIn profiles, how will I see your picture? Will I see something like this, huh? Or will I see something like this? Now this is my profile picture, right? You need to use a profile picture as well as a cover picture which matches your personal brand. I'm a public speaker. I'm a quiz master. If you look at this picture, right, my cover profile, cover picture, the top picture, right, I am giving a speech while I'm having a picture of me taking part in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? So I'm giving uh, two subtle messages in that picture, right? I was called once for an interview, right, by a leading person. I can't tell you his name, a very famous trainer as well. You know what he said? Shehan, one of the main reasons I called you for this interview was because you were speaking in front of a mic, right? Because public speaking is the world's number one fear, right? If you can find someone in your organization, if you're working somewhere, ඔගොල්ලෝ කොහෙද තැනක වැඩ කරනවා නම්, යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ වැඩ කරනවා නම්, ඔගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා ඇති ඉස්සරහට ඇවිල්ලා කතා කරන එක තමයි එපාම කරපු දේ, right? I am someone who 20 years ago who couldn't come and speak for toffee. ඉස්සරහට ඇවිල්ලා වචනයක් කතා කරන්න බැරි මිනිස්සෙක් මම, right? So I know how scary it is, right? So this guy called me for the interview after seeing this picture, right? I didn't get the job because he couldn't match my salary expectations, right? That's a different story. But remember, your profile picture and cover picture should match your personal brand, right? So actually, this picture was taken about this by profile picture. The photo, right? Uh, and again, now it's 1.5 years. I've lost a lot of weight after that picture. So I need to now take a new picture because I think my face has shrunk a bit more, right? So remember, profile picture and cover picture should match your personal brand. Does your headline description mean something of value? Right? So, under your profile picture, there's an opportunity for your headline description. Does it have some value? There are some people who send me, I'm the CEO, right? It says, example, uh, Thomas Fernando, Chief Executive Officer. So what, right? You're a Chief Executive Officer. So what? Who cares? You need to be more descriptive, right? So this is my headline description: Brand, Marketing, and Communications Leader for EYGDA Sri Lanka. That's my job title. Quizmaster, Corporate Trainer, the Outstanding Young Persons of Sri Lanka Award winner, right? Your headline description has to be unique, right? So my description, I don't think anyone in this country or in the world can have it because these are unique for me, right? Please add something of value. Samaraya dano kisima terumak ne. Of course, there are people now. I know Mr. Amita Gamage, right? Someone that I really look up to in terms of LinkedIn marketing, right? If you go to his LinkedIn, he says, I have coached more than, I think, 40,000 people. That's his headline, right? When someone sees that, you know, they know that this guy means business, right? So your headline description should mean business, right? What does your description say? No other social media offers you this, right? After your headline description, you can have your about description. It's like your own personal resume, as I said before, right? So this is my description. It says, I am a game changer and exceptional manager of people with more than 20 years of global corporate experience, right? So what does your description say? Then paragraph 2, I say I'm a practicing professional marketer. Then I say I'm the former CEO of the FITIS, Federation of IT Industry. I'm talking about my contribution to the IT industry. I'm a corporate trainer and motivational speaker, specializing areas such as personal grooming etiquette. Then I am Sri Lanka's most active quizmaster. So my profile is complete, right? LinkedIn says I have an all-star profile because I have completed all what they have. LinkedIn is so fantastic, right? It will guide you, right? It will help you also when you go there. So what does your description say, right? Don't just say I am an accountant with 25 years. So what, right? Talk about your pitch. This should be your sales pitch, right? Then contribute something of value to your target market, right? A social media channel is very similar to a TV channel. So ask yourself, would you watch a channel consisting of mostly of self promotion? සමහර අය self promotion තමයි, right? Sorry. Uh, that is okay. I promote myself, right? I want to ask you a question. Right? සමහර අය නම් මගේ සමහර post දැකලා සමහරගෙන අපෝ මෙයාගේ වැඩේ පම්පෝරි ගහන මට කෙලින්ම කියලාත් තියෙනවා, right? But I want to ask you a question. If you don't pamporify yourself, හරි ඔයාව පවාගෙන පම්පොරි ගහන්න නැත්තම් කවුද වාගෙන පම්පොරි ගහන්නේ? Right? Who is going to talk, who is going to promote you if you don't promote yourself? Right? මේක ගොඩාක් මාකටිං කරන අය ගොඩාක් බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එක ගැන හිතන අය කරන වැරද්දක්. අයියෝ මිනිස්සු මොනා හිතේද මෙයා අපෝ මෙයා හැම එකක්ම දානවා, right? No, your brand is unique, right? You need to make that your brand unique, right? If you don't blow your trumpet, who will, right? So contribute something of value. If your target market is people looking for quizzes, if your target market is people for looking for corporate training programs, add a post that is relevant to that, right? Create engaging content. The more reactions and comments you receive on your post, the more people it will reach. As I said before, right? ඔයාගිලා කාගේ හරි එකක් ක්ලික් කරොත් ඔයාගේ network එකේ 10000ක් ඉන්නවා නම් ඒ 10000ටම පේනවා ඒක. Right? So you try to build your network through that, right? Avoid links. LinkedIn hates links, right? Or YouTube එකේ මොන හරි දාලා LinkedIn එකේ දාන්න බලන්න LinkedIn එක හරවන එක LinkedIn එකේ link එකක් ඇටියට and they will not promote it. You post a video separately on LinkedIn, but they don't like you posting links on LinkedIn. It will penalize you. Hari promote karanda denne mana, right? If I share, for example, usually my posts on LinkedIn would get a minimum of about 5,000, 7,000 impressions, right? If I post something, register now, registration link එකක් දැම්මොත් 900යි 1200යි maximum. සමහරවට 150යි, right? Because LinkedIn doesn't like uh, links from other websites being shared on posts, right? So remember that when you post something next time. Post regularly. My friends, I want to tell you, if you don't post regularly on LinkedIn, if you don't want to do that, please leave it. නැත්තම් වැඩක් නැහැ, right? I would say if you can post thrice a week or twice a week, that's fantastic. You need to post regularly, right? Because building a brand requires consistent effort, right? Now, my brand on LinkedIn I have built over 5 years, right? Uh, I started when I was working in for a company called Pearson, right? Uh, and now I have built my brand, right? It requires consistent effort. Post regularly. අනේ අම්මේ මාසෙට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට LinkedIn එකේ post පහක් හයක්වත් දාන්න බැරි නම් LinkedIn එකෙන් අයින් වෙන්න. මොකද වැඩක් නැහැ, right? I get so many requests on LinkedIn from people. So before I add them on LinkedIn, I go and see, okay, අද මෙයා එවලා තියෙන post එකක් නේ බලමුක connection request. Let's see what this person has done. He or she has not done anything. මුකුත් කරලා නැහැ. අනිත් අයගේ post වලට like දාන එකයි, ඒවට heart දාන එකයි, insightful කියලා අර bulb එක වගේ එක දාන එකයි ඕක තමයි කරන්නේ, right? They have not done any justice for being on LinkedIn. LinkedIn එකේ නිකන් ඉන්නවා විතරයි. අනිත් අයගේ ඕපදූප බලන්න ඕන නම් ළමයි Facebook එක තියෙනවා. ඒකට ගිහලා බලන්න, right? Then connect on a personal level. Keep it professional, right? Keep it professional. People relate to other people, not to brands. Be authentic. I will talk about that in one of my future slides, right? Become a micro influencer. You don't need to have millions of connections. I follow some people who have 7 million connections on LinkedIn. I have only 6,000 connections. And I know that those 6,000 people are already bringing me results. And as I grow my network, excuse me, I will get more results, right? Sometimes you just need a few of the right people. And if you're looking for overseas partnerships for your business, right? පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න ටාගට් කරලා ඔයා පාර්ට්නර් වෙන්න කැමති අය LinkedIn එකෙන් search කරලා follow them, connect with them, right? And nurture that relationship, and you can do well. Again, I want to tell you, blow your trumpet. පුළුවන් තරම් post කරන්න මාසෙට මම එක සතියට එකක් දාන්න බැරි නම් post එකක් LinkedIn එකට අයින් වෙන්න වැඩක් නැහැ. ඇත්තට මං කියන්නේ, right? දැන් සමහර අය ඉන්නවා LinkedIn එකේ රයිට් මොනවද දැන් අපි පෝස්ට් කරන්නේ කල්පනා කරන අපි දමු මෙයාගේ ස්ටීව් ජොබ්ස්ගේ හොඳ කෝට් එකක් තියෙනවා stay hungry stay foolish කියලා ගන්න Google images කියලා Google කරලා බලලා ගහනවා ස්ටීව් ජොබ්ස් ලස්සන තියෙනවා මේව ස්ටීව් ජොබ්ස් stay hungry stay foolish ඒක අරන් පෝස්ට් කරලා #steve jobs #inspiration if I want to look at Steve Jobs' post, I will go to Google and do it. I will not want to go through your profile, right? Why would I want to go through your profile to see Steve Jobs' quote, right? So please, right? Think of original content. Now there's a fantastic app called opportunity called ChatGPT, right? I'm sure many of you know that, right? I use ChatGPT sometimes, right? If I want to type something on LinkedIn, now I help a lot of people on their post right අනිත් අයගේ post හදන්න මම ගොඩාක් help කරනවා right LinkedIn එකේ මට දැන් සමහරට වෙලා නැත්නම් මම ටග් කරලා chat GPT type කරලා කියලා කියනවා give me a few paragraphs on diversity and inclusion ගහපු ගන්න කියලා තප්පර 10න් එනවා right I take that I edit that and I send that to that person for their update right so many things you can do my friends so many things you can do some mistakes to avoid right don't lie පච ගහන්න නම් ලෑස්ති වෙන්න එපා LinkedIn එකේ නිකන් නෝන්ඩි වෙනවා right Facebook එකේ Twitter එකේ බලන්න some look at some of these politicians who post on Twitter if you don't believe me how they are getting left right and center LinkedIn is also the same don't lie you need to create credibility don't use anything other than a professional looking photo අනේ bathroom එකේ ගන්න selfies right අර සමහර ගොඩක් ගෑන් ළමයි තමයි මම මේක දැකලා තියෙන්නේ bathroom එකේ ගන්නවා selfies ඒක දානවා LinkedIn එකේ එතකොට සමහර boys ලා gym එකේ ගන්නවා gym එකේ අර මේ පොඩ්ඩක් පේන්නත් එක්ක මේම කරලා කට මෑද කරලා ගන්නවා photo එකක් please leave those away from LinkedIn if you want to post those post on Instagram and Facebook not on LinkedIn don't send people an invitation with LinkedIn's default text. If you're connecting with someone or a LinkedIn automatic text in on it, try to avoid that unless you know that person really well. If you don't know that person, say type karla tiyagan, hey, I really like to connect with you. You seem to have a lot of similarities with my likings, right? එහෙම දාන්න right don't leave your LinkedIn profile incomplete අනේ බාගෙට පුරවපු LinkedIn profile දාන්න සමහර අයගේ educational qualifications නැහැ සමහර අයගේ job වැඩ කරපු තැන් එකයි තියෙන්නේ හැබැයි අවුරුදු 20ක් විතර වැඩ කරලා තියෙනවා don't leave your LinkedIn profile incomplete වැඩක් නැහැ ඊට වඩා හොඳයි LinkedIn profile එක නැතුව ඉන්න right then don't ask people who don't know you to write recommendations අයියෝ මට එවනවා recommendations දැන් මම සමහරවල් ට්‍රේනින් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම්ස් කරනවා right 300ක් 400ක් ඉන්න ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම්ස් දැන් මම හැමෝම ඉන්ඩිවිජුවලි දාන්නේ නැහැ නේ ඉතින් මට එවනවා can you please recommend me on LinkedIn ඉතින් මම කොහොමද ළමයි recommend කරන්නේ right I can't do that so please don't ask people who don't know you to write recommendations if you can look at my recommendations probably my bosses or people who I have worked very close with who have given me good recommendations be patient nurture the relationship and then approach for business treat LinkedIn the same way as you would treat any other relationship මම සමහර වෙලාවට මම සාමාන්‍යයෙන් එවන හැමෝම ඇඩ් කර ගන්නවා right Facebook නම් I don't add because I have a daughter so I'm very careful with who I add on Facebook but LinkedIn I add everyone because you know why some people they say අපෝ මේ බලන්නකො මේ banks වලින් credit card offers එවනවා loan offers එවනවා fixed deposit offers එවනවා but I add them and I'm usually quite polite to them මොකද you never know right Sri Lanka is a very small place Colombo is a very small place you never know who when you're going to meet that person right the සමහර වෙලාවට මම දන්න මගේ සමහර bossලා බනිනවා කෙලින්ම එවනකොට fixed deposit then කෙලින්ම you add them on LinkedIn 5 minutes later they send fixed deposit rates 30% if you deposit up to 1 year right මේ add කරලා විනාඩි 5ක් නෑ right කෙලින්ම අර message එකක් දාලා අර හදපු image එකක් right if you are doing that don't do that but if you are responding to that be polite right be polite they're just trying to do their job they're just trying to hit their targets and you never know right you treat someone well you meet them on the road yeah hi me sir me Shehan ned me කියලා මාත් එක්ක කතා කරා ඔයා බැන්නොත් එහෙම that will not happen you never know right who when you're going to meet people so treat people well treat people with respect and they will respect you but please I want to tell you අනේ අරබනම් කරන්න එපා මට ඉන්නවා මං ගිහලා ඇඩ් කරොත් වෙල් එක ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් කම්පැනි වල වෙල්ත් ප්ලෑනර්ස්ලා කියලා ඉන්නවා මම ඇඩ් කරපු ගාම විනාඩි 5ක් ඇතුළත එවනවා. Sir, would you like to get our insurance policy? Be patient, nurture the relationship. Now if you meet someone when you're walking, when you go to a shopping mall, right, ඉස්සලාම ඉවෙන්ට් එකට ගියාම දැක්ක ගමම ගිහලා කාඩ් එක දීලා යට කියනවාද සර් මේ මම මෙයා මේ මගේ ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් පොලිසි එකක් ගන්නවද කියලා? No, you don't do that, right? You first talk to that person. I am so and so, right? You get to know that person and then you try to sell, right? පොඩ්ඩක් nurture කරන්න ඔය relationship එක, and you know, then you might be able to do their business, right? ටිකක් කල් දෙන්න, right? I'll give you an example, right? So there was a company that I wanted to join really bad, right? uh, I wanted to leave my existing job. I really wanted to join that company. So what did I do? I added the head of HR. I had added the COO of that company, right? මම එකපාරට දාලා දැම්මොත්, do you have any vacancies, can you help me කියලා දැම්මොත්, you sound desperate and that's not going to work, right? What did I do? ඒගොල්ලෝ දාන posts වලට මම like කරනවා. මම ඒගොල්ලෝ දාන posts වලට like කරාම ඒගොල්ලෝගේ news feed එකේ මම දාන posts ඒගොල්ලන්ට පේනවා, right? When I like or comment on their posts, they will see what I post on their news feed, right? LinkedIn is like that, okay? And then I build that relationship, and then I approach them, right? And then, hey, by the time I approach that person, he already knew about me, what my values are, and what I stood for. I got the job, and I'm right now in that job, right? මම job එක තමයි දැන් කරන්නේ, right? So treat a LinkedIn relationship the same way you treat any other relationship. පාරේ කොහේ හරි හෝටල් එකක කාට දැක්ක ගමන් ගිහලා යාට පිස්සත් කියලා කාඩ් එක දීලා මේ අනේ මගේ ක්‍රෙඩිට් කාඩ් එක ගන්නවද කියන්නේ නෑනේ නේද? ඒ වගේම තමයි LinkedIn එකෙත් හැසිරෙන්න ඕනේ. හා then LinkedIn is not a dating app. එකට Tinder තියෙනවා, social media, Instagram හරි Facebook හරි use කරන්න. Look at this post, right? This lady has put, I'm frustrated that I even have to write this post, but I feel like many women are experiencing the same thing. LinkedIn is not a dating app. Please do not connect or message me on LinkedIn unless you want to network. I have worked my whole life to be taken seriously as a professional woman. An unwarranted personal message that has nothing to do with work on a website that is specifically for professional networking is unacceptable. Dear men, LinkedIn is not a dating app. I repeat, LinkedIn is not a dating app. Can I tell you a secret? Right? Uh, Even I get dating requests from men, women, both, right? Mostly from men, right? You all might laugh. I have shown that to my wife also, right? I get a lot of requests on LinkedIn as well for dating, right? Remember, LinkedIn is not a dating app. ඒවට වෙනම apps තියෙනවා. ඔය Tinder ඒ වගේ තියෙනවා, right? Ask Tanushka Gunatilaka if you don't believe me, right? Then your brand, be authentic. Be authentic, be genuine on your LinkedIn post. It goes a long way in building your credibility. Your brand is who you are. Don't pretend to be someone you're not. අයියෝ අනේ දැන් මම දැන් ශෙහාන් කුමාර් කියපින්ද මම දැන් පෝස්ට් දාන්න ඕනේ මොනවද මම දාන පෝස්ට් රයිට් මම මේක ගැන හිතලා මම මෙහෙම පෝස්ට්. Don't be someone who you are not. ඔයාගේ බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එක යුනික්. අහවල් මිනිස්සයා කරා කියලා සමාජයට බලන්න හරි. හරි. යාගෙන් අයිඩියා එකක් ගන්න. හැබැයි යා කරන දේ කරන්න යන්න එපා. Be authentic, right? Genuine වෙන්න. බොරු කරන්න ගියොත් නිකන් නෝන්ඩි වෙනවා. So I asked this girl who works with me, right? Her name is Aranya. She had a fantastic post on LinkedIn recently, right? So she works with me. I actually asked her, got her permission to share this also, right? This is the post. It said, the brightest smile and the warmest welcome every time I walk into the office. His good mornings have definitely made my day pleasant, and yesterday was his last day at EYGDA Sri Lanka. He told me this place was like his home and I could feel him. Thank you, Sudat uncle, for being kind and loving to everyone in the office. You will be missed. So this girl posted this picture of this security uncle called Sudat, right? Sudat, good friend of mine, he's a lovely guy, right? Unfortunately, you know how the most security companies are. He got transferred to a different place. He didn't like it, so he quit that job, right? But he was a lovely person, and this is the post that this girl had about this Uncle Sudha. Fantastic, genuine post, right? She's a person like that, right? She's a loving and caring person, and she wanted to appreciate the good job this guy did, right? So be authentic. I will show you a couple of my posts, right? This is my post, one of my posts that I got 20,450 impressions. Uh, this is my management team of the company that I work for, right? So I put progress occurs when courageous, skillful leaders seize the opportunity to change things for the better. Harry S. Truman, තමයි කියලා තියෙන ඇමරිකාවේ හිටපු ජනාධිපති, right? I am indeed privileged to be a member of this rockstar leadership team at I tagged my company. I tagged the people in there. 20,450 impressions, right? One of my best performing posts, right? Why? I have tagged different people, right? So when I tag, for example, there's a person called Hari Padmanabhan who was our location leader, right? So Hari will have about another 10,000 people in his network, right? There's a guy called Tiral who is one of our recruitment managers, right? So Tiral will have another 10,000 people, right? When I tag him, people on their profile on his network can also see, right? Be authentic, tag people, use your brain, you can have good reach. Identify your style. What are your strengths and values? Are you good at storytelling, right? Now, some people are really good at storytelling. Some are right. LinkedIn. Have you seen that? But have you wondered? You like to write, you like to tell your story, but does your audience enjoy it? How do people perceive you, right? Once you identify your style, be consistent, right? ඔගොල්ලෝ identify කරන්න ඕන ඔගොල්ලෝගේ right personal brand එක identify කරා, ඔයාගේ style එක identify කරා. Once you identify your style, be consistent, right? Apple phone එකේ they have identified their brand and they are consistent. They usually don't try to be something else that they are not, right? I'll tell you my brand. So my brand is I talk honest things, right? Mama කෙලින්ම බොක්කෙන් දෙන එක තමයි මගේ style එක, right? So usually I talk things which might be important to society in general, and මම එක බොක්කෙන්ම දෙන. I show you two posts that I got good impressions on, right? So one is this on the right hand side, the day I took my family to the protest last year, right? Nothing political, I'm telling you just about my LinkedIn post. 27,000 impressions, right? So I say on that, the only thing necessary to the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Took my entire family to the protest yesterday at the Independence Square, because when all this is done and dusted, our kids will grow up knowing that their parents always stood up for the right thing, right? So I have built my brand name as a person who always will stand up for the right thing. If you look at this post on the left hand side, it is the day I quit my role in my previous organization, and I can't see the number of impressions here, 20,403, right?
What
So
content?
there I mentioned it, the whole post is not visible. I have mentioned I didn't have any
What the
experience as a CEO when I joined. But you don't need to have experience to perform well. If you have the passion, if you have a good team to help you, you can achieve wonders, right? I did many things that some of the previous
Mozilla
leaders in that
Telephone?
organization didn't do. And I spoke about that passionately, and I got good impression, right? Be authentic, build, identify your social style, your style of writing, your values, and then be consistent, right? Have a few role models, right? Have a few role models for different reasons. Follow them and get ideas. So these are people that I follow on LinkedIn. Bill Gates, 36 million followers. David Malpass, president of the World Bank. දැන් අපිට පොඩ්ඩක් ගෝනනේ පොඩ්ඩක් support එකදී මම පොඩ්ඩක් යාවත් follow කරනවා. 62,345. Michael Dell, right? I'm using a Dell laptop. I love what Dell Michael Dell stands for, right? 1.8 million followers. පොඩ්ඩක් අඩුයි අනිත් අයට වඩා නේද? 1.8. Yeah. Richard Branson, 19 million. Jack Welch, former head of GE, 7 million. Indira Nooyi, right? Former CEO of Pepsi, right? So these are a few role models that I follow. You will get their updates when you start following them on LinkedIn. Learn from them and grow, right? How do you get more reach? I'm almost done with my presentation. How do you get more reach? post early in the day, right? Because Sri Lankans check their phones while they're in the toilet in the morning, right? උදේ ගිල්ල විනාඩි 20 15ක් 20ක් toilet එකේ ඉන්නවනේ. toilet එකේ ඉන්නකොට මම දානවා LinkedIn post එකක්. දාපු ගමන් ටිරික් ගාලා එනවා alert එකක් phone එකේ Shehan Kumar posted on LinkedIn, right? උඩ ගිහලා බලනවා Shehan Kumar මොනවද post කරලා තියෙන්නේ, right? Okay. කෝච්චිය යනකොට බස් එක යනකොට ඔෆිස් ට්‍රාන්ස්පෝර්ට් එක යනකොට මොනවද කරන්නේ? මෙහෙම ෆෝන් එක තියාගෙන ෆෝන් එක බල බල යනවා. බල බල යනකොට ටිරින් ගාලා Shehan Kumar alert එකක් දානවා. දාපු ගමන් බලනවා, right? පුළුවන් තරම් උදෙන් දාන්න, you have chance of getting better reach, right? So if you take most of my posts, unless I'm really busy or I have some important thing to do, mostly early morning by about 7, 7:30 or 8 before actually work starts, right? Weekends, holidays are not always a good time to post. ලංකාවේ weekends, holidays වල වෙච්චර බලන්නේ නැහැ. ට්‍රිප් යනවා, යාළුවොත් එක්ක පාටි දානවා නේද? Netflix බලනවා. I think social media බලන එක පොඩ්ඩක් අඩු වෙයි. Especially LinkedIn. පොඩ්ඩක් ඉතින් බලන්න ඒ වෙලාවට post කරන එක. Ah, how do you get more reach? Now, this is what I do. Remember, the more the reactions, the more the people that will see your post, right? අපේ post වලට ගොඩක් අය react කරොත් you get more impressions. Respond to comments or posts at intervals. මම මොනවද දන්නවද කරන්නේ? දැන් මම post එකක් දැම්මාම දාපු ගාම like කරලා comment කරන කීප දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවනේ. මම ඒ වෙලාවට heart එකක් දාලා heart දාගෙන යනවා, right? In the afternoon or in the evening when I'm free, මම මේකට reply කරනවා, right? Thank you, thank you Thomas for that fantastic comment. All the very best කියලා මම දානවා යාට reply එක. එතකොට දැන් මම මගේ උදේ post එක දැකලා කට්ටිය ඉවරයිනේ. දැන් මම comment කරාන් පස්සේ ආයි යෝක news feed එකේ appear වෙනවා. right? ආයි Thomas ගේ news feed එක උඩට එනවා. ඒකට Thomas ගේ යාළුවොත් මේක දකිනවා. Thomas කවුද එක්කෙනෙක් reply කරලා respond කරලා කියලා they will see it again. right? So if I want to see more people, I will start commenting and posting on my comments also මගේ post වලට at different intervals. Sometimes over 2 or 3 days I will reply so I get more reach, right? ඔගොල්ලෝ හිතලා මහා පිස්සෙක් නේ මිනිස්සයා කියලා, right? But that's how I have done it and that's how I have succeeded on LinkedIn, right? So I'm at the end of my presentation, right? So once again I would like to share my contact details, right? Shehan Kumar on LinkedIn.